Jenny with Soul Sparklets Art. Today we're going to create the field of poppies. Now the poppy flower is a symbol of remembrance and support of our military. In this piece, you're going to use oil pastels to draw out most of your piece, and then you're going to go back in with some watercolors to make the piece really pop. All right, go gather your supplies and meet me right back here. See you soon. A little bit above the midline, I'm going to draw the horizon line. I'm going to start by sketching my poppies. I'm going to make them bigger in the front and they'll get smaller as they recede in space. So I have my largest ones in the front, medium, small, and then these are going to be very small. And as things go back in space, they get a little blurry and less intense. So they end up, by the time we reach the horizon line, they're going to end up being more like dots. And they kind of blur together to make a line. Poppies, when they're in a field, they are looking pretty random. So it's not orderly like you might see a tulip. And the actual flower is a little less orderly as well. And now I'm going to take a little color . To me, the poppies look more like a red-orange. So I'm going to put a little bit of orange, like a bright red, instead of a cool red. And then I'm going to take my oil pastel and lightly color this in. We're also going to be applying paint to this, so you don't really have to worry about getting every bit of the white. As you can see, I'm dragging stuff around with my hand because I'm laying it on the paper. To avoid this, I don't mind it, but to avoid that sort of messy look, you could stick a piece of paper underneath your hand to protect the paper underneath. Okay, I'm going to place the yellow right up here at the horizon line. Then I'm going to add in my mountain. I'm going to go back in with some white and make some lighter areas on the mountain. My sun is going to be coming from this direction, so this can blend if you like, or you can leave it looking a bit rough, whatever you prefer. The mountains aren't very tall because they're very far away. Now I'm going to add some conifer trees. To do this, we're going to start in the center with a yellow line. And then I'm going to wiggle my hand back and forth to make the branches. And I want a nice dark green. This isn't exactly what I was thinking of, but it will do the job. This is pretty bright. I'm wiggling my hand back and forth because Christmas trees aren't really just like triangular or conifers. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Just wiggling back and forth, and they get wider as they get to the bottom. I'm going to add another set over here. And I'm going to look for another green. I think this, let me try this one. This is more what I was thinking. Less blue. The cool thing about oil pastels is that you can layer them. Okay, I'm going to move on now, a little bit more of this green, to my sky. So this sky is super cool. It's really fun to make. We're going to use some unconventional colors. I'm going to start off with some pink. Now mine are pretty dirty, but it's okay with me. Like, I don't mind. But if you don't like it, you would first clean your oil pastel by rubbing it off on a piece of paper and then use it on your paper. So I'm starting with a nice application of this pink. As I use pink, I'm thinking about my poppies, and some of them are going to appear pink because they're way back in the background. I'm bringing that pink from up here down here. Okay, after the pink, I'm going to go for some orange. So I'm going to be definitely leaving a lot of negative space in my sky because I want to go back in and paint with my watercolors. So making a little swoosh of the orange. The orange is going to look really good with this blue. And I'm going to add more blue at the top, really lightly. Get some of that. I'm going to put, when I paint this, I'm going to add some of my yellow down here, and then I'm going to add the blues, and it's going to be just really a beautiful sky. And a little yellow in here. I'm going to take some peach. I'm going to go above and below this cloud. And I'm going to go ahead and blend. Being careful not to blend my conifers. Blend across. Okay. The next step is I'm going to add in my stems for my plants down here. So the poppies have a very long, slender stem, and when they're not quite open, they're really quite pretty. I'll show you. They are like little fuzzy balls. So this green is not the right color, but that's okay because I'm going to layer in the greens. Now don't worry, we're going to be painting over this as well, but I'm going to make sure we have some stems. Some of these will be hanging down too. When you see the pictures, you'll know what I'm talking about. going to add in a lot of other green lines, filling in the space. I'm going to go back in with my yellow and add a little bit, some highlight on my buds and on my stems. Not everyone, just a few of them. It's nice to bring the color from up here down here. Okay, now I'm ready to paint my sky. I'm going to add in blue and green at the bottom, and up in the top I'm going to add in pops of yellow, and the top I'm going to add in blue. So I'm going to start up at the top and work my way down. I got to find a really nice bright yellow. I'm doing the lemony yellow, and I'm going to be painting this right over my oil pastels. I'm going to leave a little bit of white. Actually, I can use my white oil pastel, and that way I'll be sure to have some white in here. And add a little orange. And some blue at the top. You should have a paper towel ready, which I have one right here, in case you make a little splotch of paint that you don't like. Okay, now I'm going to move down into my mountain areas. Add in that pretty turquoise, so it's bright like the sky. Then in my background here, I'm going to go through and paint the bottom part where the poppies are coming up. I'm going to make a green blue or a blue green. And I'm just painting right over everything. To add a little more contrast, I'll be bringing in some darker blue, but this is just for like the base coat. Taking a little yellow green. tone down that yellow on the horizon line. I'm going to go back in now with yellow green. And I'm going to go in with some blue. And I'm doing the blue in a line like I did the stems. Okay, now I'm going in with my red. I added a little orange. And I'm just dabbing the red across the top. I might add a couple more poppies with just the watercolor. This is going to be wet on wet, so when I touch the paint, it's going to spread out. Okay, the last bit of my artwork is going to be putting in a little bit of the black center. There's black with a little, looks a bit yellow. I'm going to go add that in once this is dry. So I could have done that before, but I forgot. That happens. I can kind of draw over this to give you an example. Okay. It's going to let me. So I don't advise doing this. You probably want to wait till your work is dry or before you paint it, do this. But I'm going in and adding in little bits of that black center, and it's going to make it a little more interesting to have more detail in this. They're not regularly shaped, so not every flower is going to look the same, so that's fun. Just play around with it. Imagine you are standing and seeing these beautiful flowers. And I'll add the yellow just to some of them. I'm going to dab a bit with my paper towel, kind of see what I have. So I would like to add a little more depth, make it greener to contrast with those beautiful poppies. Okay, gonna add a little highlight to these. I'm using white oil pastel, kind of dabbling where I think the light might hit the flower. I hope you had a good time today creating with me, and I can't wait to see what you created. See you again soon.